from you is to be very particular about everything. Ready?
It's loading.
It says webinar is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yep. Ready.
Hello viewers, this is attorney Naresh Gehi, and welcome to Green Card with Gehi. And we apologize for the testing period, but that is quite normal for us to have a testing before we actually air on today's show. So today, as we've been mentioning on Facebook, so we've started this great show for all our viewers, and it's going to be aired every Wednesday and on every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Green Card with Gehi is coming up with great ideas for people who have been affected. We all have been affected because of COVID. So we'll be opening up a lot of question and answers about immigration on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So if you have any questions, we are live right now. So you can also keep sending us your questions. So now the number one thing, what is happening in immigration? A lot of people are concerned, a lot of people are nervous. So most of the questions that we have been receiving are from people who have their relatives or friends who have been detained by immigration. So we're going to talk about that first. Then after that, we're going to talk about H-1B visas holders as to what are the options at this stage. And then after that, we are going to talk about people who have visitors visas and the visas are going to expire. Then we're going to talk about marriage-based immigration cases. So we have a lot to cover today. So we are going to start number one with deportations and detentions. So number one is that let's take a simple example that what is happening with people who are in detention. So the very first thing is that unfortunately, these people are vulnerable who are in detention. Why? Because the Trump administration is not listening to people who are actually in detention and their lives are miserable because of COVID 2019. So there's a strong likelihood that people who are in detention, they are in vulnerable, they're living in vulnerable, in squalid conditions, that's a better word, and they are kind of surrounded by other inmates and all. So what is happening is that the likelihood of them getting infected with COVID is very high. And recently there has been news that some of them have actually, acquired the virus and they are suffering from COVID 2019. So now what can you do if you are in a situation wherein you have a friend or a relative who is currently in detention? The very first thing is that we need to make sure that we need to fight for your relatives' rights. And for example, if they're in detention right now, what I would do is the first thing is that get in touch with immigration. We get in touch with officials or get in touch with an immigration attorney who knows basically what to do in such an instance. So in this instance, we have some great news to share with our viewers that one of our clients was just released today from detention. Actually, yes, he was released and he has an ankle bracelet. So prior results do not guarantee future outcome, but we got an inmate released from New Jersey recently, and the client is happy that he has been released, by immigration officers. Now, what are we doing in such cases? We are getting in touch with the detention officer and letting them know that this is a very sad situation, and my client is not a threat to the U.S. society, and he has an unblemished record, and he's not going to be running away from immigration. So he's not at risk of flight. So those are common factors that immigration officers consider. They also look at the good moral character of the person to make sure that he's not a criminal, he doesn't have a blemished record. So based upon those situations, we are talking about either getting a bond or getting parole. It's a very, very important job. And you have to be very good at what you do in these cases, because immigration officials, I'm talking about ICE detention officers, look at the facts and circumstances surrounding the case very carefully. And if that is properly presented, then you may be able to get your relative or your friend, released from detention. Now, an important question that came to me from one of our viewers was that, Mr. Gehi, can a person who already has a deportation order get released from detention? My answer is yes, he may be able to get a release. Now, why? Because immigration officials have wide latitude, which means they have a lot of leeway in getting someone released. Now, in this instance, for example, that we are talking about, is even if a person has a deportation order, if he has serious health issues in this regard, and if we can show that COVID can really, really be vulnerable to this person, then there is a possibility that the person may be released by immigration officials. Now, what is the other backup plan for people who are in deportation and detention? We can actually also file a motion before the immigration judge. So we spoke about basically deportation and detentions, and especially for people who are currently in detention at this stage. So now we are also going to briefly cover some other aspects, and we are going to have a full show because a lot of people want us to, kind of educate them as to what's happening with H-1B visa holders. Now, H-1B visa holders, some of them, unfortunately, are in troubled waters, and some of them are not. And because they're contending their jobs and everything. But what do you do when you are an H-1B visa holder, and if you are in a vulnerable situation, but then your employer has put you on bench at the stage because of COVID? So now you have a couple of options over here. Either you can change your status, number one, to another legal status, or secondly, what you need to do is either leave the country and come back when the situation improves, or if you're single, consider getting married to an American citizen or a green card holder. Now, for H-1B visa holders, we are going to have a full show. So I'm going to basically ask my wonderful associate who's with me, Dan, who helped me a lot with the kind of broadcasting these shows. So I'm requesting Dan to make sure that we have a full show about H-1B visa holders. And that's a very important show for people. And that is going to be aired, and it's going to be live. So you get an opportunity to ask me questions and answers. And that's going to be on this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Please do not miss it. It's on Eastern Standard Time. And if you have any questions, you can, let us know, and we would be happy to kind of answer those questions for you. Now, talking about another area, it's about student visa holders. They are in a vulnerable situation too, especially because of what's happening in the country. And some of them have been asking me a lot of questions that they've graduated from the schools, and what can they do about the optional practical training. So if you have applied, you just have to patiently wait, and you don't have a choice until you get your OPTs. So that's number 3. And number 4, which is very, very important, is for people who are here on B1, B2 visas. Now, what's happening with people who are on B1, B2 visas, or who come here under the visa waiver pilot program? Critically important is that the law requires you to leave prior to the expiration of your visa. So before your visa expires, the law is that you have to leave the country. And if you're not leaving the country, you have to apply for an extension of your B1, B2 visa. And if you don't, then unfortunately, you are going to be out of status. Be very careful about that. Now, another topic that we're going to briefly cover, and then after that, the good news is every week, we're going to talk about each of these topics in detail. Now, people who are here and who want to apply for asylum. So generally, I tell people it's very important for you to apply for your asylum within 1 year. It's always a good idea for you to stay legal. And I tell people, and this is a big misconception, that people think it's okay for me to become, to be out of status or become undocumented. I do not recommend that. The reason is that even after a 6-month period, if you overstayed your visa, you can be detained by immigration. You can be in immigration jail. So try to stay legal, even if you're planning on applying for asylum in the United States. The next one, which I mentioned, is very important, and the last topic for today, and that's going to be about what's happening with marriage-based immigration cases. Now, the good news is that even if you're here on a visitor's visa, if you're on a visit visa, and even if you marry a green card holder, if you're on a student visa, this is important for students and for H-1B visa holders who've been calling me a lot, and our office is still fully functional. So you can call us at 718-263-5999. We are fully functional remotely at this stage. So you can call us at 718-263-5999. And I've been calling people back, yes. So if you're in that situation, but you're on a student visa, if you are on an H-1B visa, if you're on any other visa, even if you get married to a green card holder, you may be able to apply for a green card right away, depending on the facts and circumstances of your case. Of course, needless to say that if you marry an American citizen, then that's the best thing ever, and we can apply for your case immediately. So this is Attorney Naresh Gehi, and basically we'll be back again with our viewers. Don't forget the date, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be live. If you have any questions, you can email us at info@gehilaw.com, info@gehilaw.com, or call us at 718-263-5999, 718-263-5999 for a free initial personal consultation. And the instant program constitutes an attorney advertisement under the laws of the state of New York. We'll be back again on this Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Green Card with Gehi. Keep watching, keep circulating this video, and share this particular link so all your friends know that we will be, taking questions. And next week's show, Wednesday's show is going to be about options for H-1B visa holders due to COVID 2019. Options for H-1B visa holders will be aired on Wednesday. Thank you.